Hello everyone. We're gonna try to get some items knocked out on the car. I've got the car on some ramps on the passenger side. That way I can get underneath the car. We have the transmission cooler mounted. All right, so we got like the 10 foot of line that came with the trans cooler. That ain't gonna be enough. Got a 25 foot box, switch, fittings, banjo bolts ordered off eBay for the ADE, more hose clamps, large clamps. FYI, if you have to order those and you get the Earls are really expensive, and for the same price you can get a box of 50 of these off eBay. I mean, come on, they're clamps, right? All right, so I was looking through the parts that are included with the Derale trans cooler, and we're gonna forego the thermostat switch. All this switch does is goes inside, and once it reaches a certain temperature, it allows continuity between the contacts, and you can use that to regulate the fan kicking on and off. I might go back and do that, but I think I'm going to use one of the outputs on the Holly to control the fan. But I may have to get a temperature switch for that. This system only came with 3 -6 AN female threaded ports, and they come with 1 male. Now that's kind of a problem because I need to use 2 of these here at the transmission side, and then I need to use 2 on the cooler side. So I did see I had 1 Earls straight fitting left over, and it's not barbed, but it's rated for high pressure fuel line. So I'm going to see if I can use that. And one thing that was kind of concerning to me, -6 AN has a certain pitch on the cut, on the bevel. And I noticed that these had a little wobble to them when you put them together. Whereas the ones that came with it, like these are both from the Derale kit. I mean, you could force it, but you could tell there's more engagement, solid engagement. But eBay says that these are -6 AN. Derale says these are -6 AN. I guess we'll see if we got a leak once we get it together. So I got under here, and those are gonna be a little tight to get to. So let's see if I can get them threaded in. I don't even know if I can get a wrench on them. I might have to wait till it comes out to get a wrench on it. All right, so we don't have enough physical space between the trans tunnel and the trans to get the long bolt in. The short one I could probably get in and get started, but it doesn't really make much sense just do one if I got to do the other one later. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plumb all the tubing up here, and then once the transmission's out, we'll put the banjo bolts in the transmission, and we'll be able to terminate them then. All right, so we kind of stopped that job real quick because I quickly realized that the transmission coolant lines are gonna have to pass either under or over the fuel tank, and I can't really see. So we're gonna stop and go ahead and put the fuel tank in, because these flanges go from one side of the car to the other. So either coolant lines gotta go underneath it, or I gotta fish them up above it somehow. So it didn't really pay me no good to go ahead and try to do that now. So we're gonna stop, do this system. So we got the fuel tank. I gotta find the bolts. We got at least 3, 6, 8 bolts that hold this up. To kind of go over this again, this is our wiring. This is power for our pump. This is signal for our float, vent, return, outlet. So we had to get a Gates 1/2-inch fuel injection hose to fit on this 12mm barb. I'm gonna go clamp here, adapt down to 3/8, which is our vapor guard all the way up front. On the way back, we're gonna adapt from 3/8 down to 5/16, which is this here. And we're gonna use our other piece of Gates hose, the really expensive stuff that was in tank, since I already got a piece of 5/16 rated hose. This is, I think, 20 feet of vapor guard hose. We have our filter with fittings, so we're going to go outlet to reducer to hose to filter to regulator, then from regulator all the way back to inlet. This vent is going to have to either get capped off or tie into the filler neck vent right here, because I don't have all this charcoal canister stuff anymore. I did buy this. This is a Tank's vent system. Here it's got a check ball in it. You mount it upright. It's an open vent system. We want it so we don't get vapors in the car though. But we're gonna mount this underneath. I think it had a bracket with it or something. But basically, you mount it higher than the tank. It's a ventilation system so that you don't go into pressure or vacuum. But if the car was to roll over, this check valve is supposed to stop any leakage. So we may tie this to the filler neck and then tie this in with a Y. I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to look at it and see what we're gonna do here. I got the surround boot, whatever you want to call it, around the gas cap again. This is our brand new gas cap. So it's on. We're going to tie this hard line, which has a hose on it. That's it right there. We're going to tie it to the top hat for the vent. It's going to vent to here, and we're going to put in a splitter, install this guy. I just got to figure out where it's going to go because it's going to be an open vent to the fuel tank. I really don't want fuel fumes in the car, but it says to mount higher than the fill neck, so it needs to mount higher than there. So I don't know what that's going to mean for us. Anyways, I'll figure that out another time. Fuel tank, I got 5 bolts holding it up, and it's in the position it's going to go. Okay, so we're terminated. We got the coolant lines. We went right up above the lip on the gas tank. I drilled some holes and put in some nut certs and kind of went over the arch. That way we have some slack if the rear end were to compress. More nut certs. We just double stacked the clamps. Some 832 screws. And once we get to this point, I just left them open with some extra slack. So I'm gonna tie those up so our four-legged friends don't eat it up.